What's up guys, welcome to another video. So this video, oh my god, I've just watched United win 2-1. It is the day after, so we are like, I have calmed down a bit after beating PSG 2-1, but oh my god, what a performance from United. We've had a lot of doubters this season, and a lot of fans go against Solskjaer and everything, in the club, and also fans from other clubs. But not gonna lie, how can you say he's been doing that bad when we keep getting results like these? And with the team he's got, yes, he's had a decent amount of money. Yes, he's been backed a bit, but compared to the other top clubs, would you say it's anywhere near as much? And to be fair, Solskjaer wasn't the one that completely got backed. It was more the managers before him that got backed, and they left him with the squad we've got now. The only player that I would say really Solskjaer got backed with was Maguire. And I think Maguire is good, not gonna lie, but I think he's had problems with other things in his life and it's getting too much for him. But I think he's one of those that will keep fighting for it. He's not clicking at the moment. And but yesterday, not gonna lie, I think it showed how good. Maybe Maguire is the problem, I don't know. I admit his speed is a very big downfall, and maybe he would be better in a team that was like Spurs, where they sit back more because they're under Mourinho. Or maybe they would play better. He'd play better in the lower league teams because they have to sit back. Whereas we try to play a bit of a higher line because we want to counter-attack them. But yeah, I think he's a good player and he's going to come good. It's just you've got to. Sometimes players don't come good instantly, but I think he's been very solid for us. Look at us last season; we were one of the best teams defensively, and they all slate him because he's got an 80 mil price tag. But he had an 80 mil price tag, to be fair to him, because he's English. Was he worth 80 mil? No, but you need that. You need English players in your team, and he was one that. He was a centre back that we probably did need at the time. But anyway, enough about Maguire. We're on to the PSG United game. The team we put out, it was very debatable, let's just say that. We saw Luke Shaw playing left centre back, which I wasn't sure about at the time because never seen him play that, but I thought maybe it'd work. Look at the role as P plays normally in that Chelsea three at the back, if they do play three. Look at the role Alaba plays sometimes. Sometimes I actually think Luke Shaw looked better as a left centre back than he does as a left back, not gonna lie. And this back line shut out Neymar and Mbappe. Yes, De Gea had to pull out a few saves, but they shot out a lot from them. And it was an amazing game to watch. We deserved the points, not gonna lie, the way we played. And the only player that I would say maybe didn't have the best game was Martial, but even then he still did something. But yeah, anyway, we'll get into the rankings. If you are a United fan and you want a rank on this, go on to United Stand. They do a ranking system that is very, very good. Also, we will say about the goals. Martial scored an own goal for PSG. It was we should have never conceded this own goal. It was a very bad own goal to concede. Fernandes scored a penalty, but he did miss the first attempt. But to be fair, Navas was off his line, and in the rules today, you get to retake the penalty if they're off their line, and he was quite a bit off his line. And then Rashford scored such a lovely goal for the equaliser. So yeah, really, really good game. But we're going to the rankings. As you can see, we sit in 15th place right now, but we've got a game in hand, and if we win this, we go up to 6th place. If we win our next game, we've done better than Tottenham, Chelsea, Man City. And they're saying Ole's been terrible. Yes, okay, we've maybe not had all the hard games in the world. But to be fair, we thrive on hard games because we like to counter-attack. It is the little games that we do normally struggle on, because that's what we need to work on, is how to play against those teams that are going to sit back, defend. And I think one big mistake we made this season was not signing a right midfielder, because if you look at all the top teams, you look at Liverpool, in their attack they've got that one creative player in that attack, in Firmino. Yes, Salah can cause creative stuff as well, but he's more a finisher, so is Mane. You look at Aston Villa, Grealish and Ross Barkley are their two creative players now, and they look very good. Look at Arsenal, they've got me and I don't really know, I've not watched the team, but look at Tottenham, they normally have Son, that's more a bit, he is a good finisher still, but he is no, it's not Son, it's Kane now. Kane's the creative player in that team, up front. And you look at Man City, they normally play like Sterling, let's say Aguero when he's fit, and a like Bernardo Silva or a Mahrez. They have that creative player in that attack. I think if we signed Sancho, it would have been a really good signing, because it would have been that creative player on the right side, and then the two finishers in Rashford and Martial. I think that's what we need. It also frees up Bruno Fernandes, and that's a big thing to overlook. What you've got to remember as well is if you're creating all these chances, you're not going to concede as much, because you're attacking all the time. You're attack is a defence as well. But yeah, I think as well a big problem has been fitness for the start of the games. But yeah, and it's also been we've made a lot of mistakes in the first few games, but we looked a lot better in this game. De Gea, overall, he made some really good saves, and he looked back to the old De Gea. I'm not going to say he is back, because it's one game. I can't say United are the best team in the world because we just beat PSG, because who knows, we might not be. We might lose our next game. We don't know. I mean, our next game is Chelsea, so if we lose it, it's not a massive deal, but I do back us to win it, but I would give him an 8. So he had an 8.4 rating, which I think is what he deserved. Now, Wan-Bissaka, oh my god, how unbelievable he was in defence. He's been a bit lacklustre since lockdown, but he is defensively, personally, the best right back I see. It's his attack what lets him down, but he can always work on that. I think as a right back, you can work on your attacking a lot easier than you can on your defensive work. Personally, I'd rather him be the best defender in the world and not attack once, because you don't need your right back to attack. If it's alright they being amazing in attack, but then they can't defend. You're going to concede goals that way. Whereas you can have your attackers score. But yeah, I personally would give him a 9. The only reason he doesn't get a 10 is because of his attacking. Like, he wasn't the best up. So he got an 8.7. I think that's fair enough. I do think 9's the right rating, because what you got to remember is he shut out Mbappe and Neymar. They were always attacking down his side. Di Maria was on the other side, and he didn't really have a lot. He didn't really do a lot, in my opinion. Twin Sabi, again, I think he was a 9. I think he was definitely the best centre-back in that game. And, like, there's one scene where Mbappe's running at him, and, like, he just slips, but he, like, covers all the time. He's good in the air, and I'm so happy to see him back, because I think personally he's our best centre back. I would like to see. I think him and Lindelof are a good pair, but it would be nice to see him and maybe a Eric Bailey, or maybe him and Maguire are the two centre backs that we need. I don't know. Lindelof, I would probably say a 7. He wasn't amazing, and he definitely still looked a bit weaker out of all of them, but it's one of the best games I've seen him play for us. Luke Shaw, I think was an 8, because he did cause quite a bit when he did go up front, and defensively he played that left centre back really well. I think it fits him a lot better, because he had chances to push up, because what would happen is if he pushed up, maybe Tellez would fall back in a bit. But it did work for him a bit better, I feel, because he wasn't always getting attacked by that really quick player, and he's not the quickest of left backs now. Alex Tellez, personally, I think he was a 7. He does look good, and he did have a lot of good flair in this game, and I can see why we brought him in. I think he will be a good signing for us, but there was a lot of times where he lost the ball by nothing, but then there was also like things that I could see from him. He's got a good cross on him, he's good on the ball, he's got a decent pass, he's quite smart, and you can see he's an experienced left back as well. McTominay, I would probably say, is one of the lower ones. I'm going to give him a 6, because I think he was very average, but he worked hard. Like, I don't think he was amazing, but he worked hard. And he was, like, he did get a yellow. I think he was a lot better when he got his yellow card. Because he was a bit more, like, one thing I always think about McTominay is he puts in so many challenges where it's like, why have you put that in? But it's his style of play. He just wants to be at everyone, and that's what I love about him. He always wants to be at them, and like, it's the reason why when we played in the first leg against Barcelona, Messi couldn't do anything against us, because he was always at him, and I think he's very good at that. But I think he needs to maybe adapt his game to be a bit smarter when he does put in that tackle. Fred, I'm going to say 8, because he worked very hard for the team and he was always on the go. Like, there wasn't a moment where I was like, wow, he's stopped. Like, he literally ran around the whole game, and not going to lie, I think Fred is that player we need behind Fernandes and whoever else plays, because he's always working. Like, I wouldn't say he's the best defensively, but then, like, look at Kante. I wouldn't even say Kante's the best defensively, but if someone gets past him, he's not giving up till he gets that ball back, and that's what I like about him. Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to say an 8. Not his best game, but he did score a pen, and he also did put in a lot of good balls and a lot of good runs. But there was a lot of times where it was like, wow, that was a terrible shot, that was a terrible pass. But I think he was a good captain. You can see around him all the players were working very hard, and I think it's down to him and his attitude. He wants to win. You can tell that, and I think he should be our captain over Maguire, not gonna lie. I think the team want to play for him, and also like he will control the team. He already does. Like Rashford, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say was a 9, was an 8. Now Rashford he created a lot of chances and he should have probably scored more, but he didn't have that like finishing cut. He scored an amazing goal to win us the game, but he just didn't have that like that amazing game. But it might have been down to maybe the service a bit more in that game, because it wasn't always the most amazing service in that game. And I think he did look good, but he just didn't have that great of a game. Martial, not gonna lie, apart from the penalty win, I'm gonna say he was a 6. Yeah, he is. I think he's the lowest rated. Yeah, lowest rated player in that game. And I've been saying this about Martial for ages. He's a very good player, very talented. But the one thing I don't like about him is he was probably the laziest player on that pitch that game. He's not always running around like Rashford is. Rashford looks like, even if he's having a terrible game, he'll run that extra like 90 miles he needs to try and make himself better. Whereas Martial, it's like, oh, okay, maybe you could have moved for that, maybe you could have made a run there, maybe you could have passed it there. I think he's a good player and he's very talented, but he needs to put in more, in my opinion. Pogba, when he came on, I'm gonna say he was a 7. He was good, and it definitely changed the game because it seemed like there was more options when he came on. But I wouldn't say he was the best, and he didn't have a lot of time to prove himself. That's my thing. But he was very good when he did come on. But comparing him to the other players, I think it's his work ethic as well. He just doesn't look like... I know it's his play style, and it's why he doesn't really work in this United team, because he's one of those players that he likes that freedom. And not gonna lie, I think he should play as like a left attacking midfielder in a way, because he would work in that. Like, I think maybe we play with these wing backs, have Fred just behind Bruno and Pogba, and Pogba can stay back a bit more, but he gets a bit more freedom with Fred behind there and the 5 back. Donny didn't really do anything. Didn't really get any time. James, I'm gonna give a 7, because even though he didn't do a lot, you could see that he was at everyone when he did come on. And that's what I like about the guy. Even though he's not been that great for us recently, he's always at players, and he always scares defenders, because he's that I think he's going to be a good impact sub in a few weeks, because he's that kind of player that you'll get into the end of the game defending, you're really tired, and then Daniel James comes on and he's running at you, and he could walk quicker than most players. Like, that's what he is. But not gonna lie, I think Ole, I don't think he did anything wrong. Really, I think the only thing maybe I would have liked to see was maybe Donny play. instead of McTominay. But I'm going to give him a 9. I wouldn't say it's a 10 because we didn't absolutely dominate the game, but it was a very, very good performance, and he was definitely the man of the match. If I was going player-wise, Wan-Bissaka was definitely the man of the match, and he got an 8.7, so yeah, fair enough. But yeah, absolutely amazing, and yeah, Wan-Bissaka did get man of the match for that. But I absolutely think Ole did an amazing job in that game. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of the PSG United game and comment down below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and also there will be much more of this. I'll try and do this after every United game, but I'm not always going to watch every United game because I don't get the time for it. But any United game I do watch, I will do one of these. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.